again coming before the board to ask them to address the bullying issue that has been plaguing our district for several decades now. It's been over a year since I started coming to these meetings to ask you to address this, and to date I am fairly certain there's been no formal investigations into the scope of the issue, nor has there been new policies or initiatives meant to address the bullying issue. Please correct me if I'm wrong and there have been efforts on your part that were not discussed during these meetings. So we agree, nothing done. So since this board has refused to do anything to help these children and families, I've been working with several educational professionals and lawyers on different resources for the families and students that have not been getting help from the district. The first is a guide for students on their rights when being interviewed by administration or a school resource officer. I encourage every parent to go over these rights with their children so they know they're allowed to request a parent present for questioning. The second is a guide for parents on best practices for reporting bullying to the school, as well as a list of resources for reporting the district if they do not appropriately respond to those submitted reports. Reporting their inaction and reporting them to the appropriate state oversight organizations will help hold the district accountable and force them to take action. So, if the district has not been appropriately helping your bullied child, I highly recommend reporting it. I'll be posting these resources on my Facebook page, and if the board will open up public comments on their meeting videos, which they currently have turned off, I will also post a link to those resources there. I want to remind the board and taxpayers at home that the district, knowing about this issue for so long and refusing to address it, is opening us up to an incredible amount of liability. If the board continues to flagrantly break these laws, they are going to cost our district millions. I cannot ring this warning bell any more loudly than I have. Lawsuits are coming, they are going to win, and the people sitting here are going to be directly responsible for that. So since our district's not giving these students a safe option to anonymously report the dramas, I also want to talk about an art project I'm starting called the Bully Banner. This banner allows both current and past students to anonymously submit their stories about bullying in the Morton School District. I retype the stories to retain their anonymity, and they're placed on different colored banners depending on the category. I strongly believe shame dies when stories are told in safe places. I'm hoping this banner will give students opportunities to have their stories heard. The students and families can message me their stories on Facebook, email me at ashleyfisherforschoolboard@gmail.com, or anonymously through the Google form associated with that email. Just in case you think bullying is still not an issue, I've pulled a couple excerpts from stories that have already been submitted. I'm going to warn that some of these may be triggering. I was bullied every damn year at Morton schools. Not even kidding. It was a miserable experience. In high school, it got easier because I'd been bullied so long it was just old hat. It's ironic how many of these same people come up to me all nicey nice today as if that redeems the 12 years of misery I went through. I knew my worth and I was loved outside of school, but the school system did nothing to help. Damaged people damage people. At Grundy, I was made fun of the way I was dressed, how I wasn't athletic, and even my facial expressions. Even my PE teacher asked me angrily why I couldn't hit a volleyball like other kids, and she let the kids pelt me with kickballs because I had trouble dodging them. I got pushed around so much on the playground, I'd take longer eating lunch so I didn't have to spend time at recess, even though I love being outside. In high school, I was bullied to the point of crying by teachers. Students were often openly racist, ableist, and homophobic. Most of my class posed with a Confederate flag for their senior photo. I was sexually harassed when I had to wait for the bus, but was too afraid to bring it up to everyone, and I wanted to unalive myself every single day. It's sad to know my mom went through something very similar at Morton all the way back in the 80s, and not much has changed. At the Morton Junior High School, someone yelled across the cafeteria at my daughter, "Slave!" She had to go back to class after lunch and keep replaying that scenario over in her head. The boy who yelled it was called to the office and talked to, and that was it. She, however, was mortified, and it will stick with her forever. I went to Morton Junior High and was told to kill myself as well as awful things on a regular basis. The school did nothing about it at all. My family finally switched my school and I was so much happier. It's so sad they don't realize bullying is a serious problem in Morton and think kids are just messing around. I'll never send my daughter to the Morton schools. And perhaps the most significant submission of all. The school knows there's a bullying problem, they just don't care. And they aren't going to care until someone finally kills themselves. I'm once again begging this board to take this matter seriously and actually start addressing the bullying issue. And if you won't, please give your seat to someone who will.